Kyler Murray's back at practice today after missing the last two. That should add some clarity to who's going to start on Sunday, right? Nope. That's disgusting.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily Arizona Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Locked On Cardinals. That's me, Alex Clancy. So here's the thing. Over the last couple days, while I've not been recording, and I've just been scrolling Twitter and ruminating in my own thoughts, something came to me that is kind of jarring and scary, but also could be completely liberating, is that, like, we don't know what the Cardinals' plan is. So, like, Kyler Murray or Jacoby Brissett starting, like, we don't know. It's like, okay, cool. So that's pretty much what it is now. But it's not what it used to be when it looked like this. And I'll explain. Okay? I'll explain. The keys to victory, final segment, as always, urgency above all else. I'll explain what that should look like on Sunday, regardless of who the quarterback is. But by and large, even though the Cardinals don't seem to have a concrete idea of how to fix this, there could be power in that. In their, you'd hope, inevitable taking back control of the situation that they seemingly don't have a whole lot of control over right now. Today's episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So let me explain what I mean, okay? Through self-discovery and self-exploration, you can find something that was hidden previously. And when you're looking at that as a team, as an entity, as one heartbeated body, for lack of a better phrase, going cross-country, playing in the morning slate after getting embarrassed at home 2 weeks in a row in wildly different ways, while also seeing that all of your losses were walk-off field goals. Just because it looks bad right now doesn't mean one really solid win isn't the elixir for it. So say the Cardinals win by 10 on Sunday. All is completely forgotten. Like, it's not forgotten because of how things have happened, and even the wins weren't able to be celebrated because of the downfall in the fourth quarter of each of those games against the Saints and the Panthers. Like, we're getting out past the buoys at this point without water wings, and got to see if the Cardinals can sink or swim. Nailed it. I got there. I wasn't ready for I didn't have that. Going cross country, you don't know who the quarterback's going to be. The offense looks terrible. The defense looks great. The coaching staff wasn't in question. Like, the leash wasn't even on the coaching staff for firing. Wasn't even on. Even Drew Petzing. Like, up until last week, and then what happened last week, and the way that it happened shortened this timeline exponentially. And maybe that's irrational, okay? It's fair, but maybe it's not seeing the forest through the trees. And if that's the case, then I feel like I've been pretty rational throughout this whole thing. But what we witnessed last week was, you can't convince me that that doesn't put everything at question that wasn't before the season started. It's the culmination of the first 4 weeks with the crapbox finish of week 5. It's all the ingredients put together. It's the Lifetime Achievement Award of 2025. Not just week 5, because that would be ridiculous. But when you look at the landscape of the entirety of this season, the Cardinals haven't had control down the stretch of any of the games. Even with Seattle, like, it was so far out of reach at that point that even though they scored a bunch of points and they came back and tied the game, like, it was still like they were on their heels. But, like, they didn't have control down the stretch against New Orleans. They didn't have control down the stretch against Carolina, which is bonkers. They didn't have control down the stretch against San Francisco, when all they had to do after that safety was get 2 first downs and the game was over. Like, the Cardinals have had the opportunity to snatch control at end of games, and they've decided to take the football, light it on fire, and give it to the other team. Like, truly. And it's something that, isn't great. And also, they're so close to the opposite of that happening the entirety of the season. So while it's kind of a weird, abstract way to look at it, like, I like to look at things from every angle. It's like, okay, it looks really bad right now. And also, there some buffoonery and getting 2 first downs in San Francisco away from being 4-1. So while I understand, good teams win close games. Good teams win close games. And good teams don't just salt away, don't just completely implode when you're up multiple scores and allow teams to come back. Like, I understand all of that. And the Cardinals could be 4-1, tied for top of the division in the NFC West. Like, both legitimately are true. So we'd be having completely different, a narrative going into Sunday. But as it is, going into Sunday, it's make or break for a lot of things. With Kyler Murray potentially not plays back to practice, like you see how I'm talking about the team more than the quarterback. It's like, I don't care who the quarterback is on Sunday. They got to win the football game. Like, I still think that Kyler Murray gives the Cardinals a better chance to win than Jacoby Brissett. We'll see what happens over the next couple of days. I'd be, at this point, not a doctor, but I'd be surprised if he made it through all of practice today at full speed that he wouldn't be the starter on Sunday. So a couple treatment days. Jacoby took reps with the ones with the game plan they have going into Sunday, just in case it re-aggravates it mid-game or something like that if Kyler were to start. But it doesn't matter. This team needs to win on Sunday. Because you can't go to 2-4 with Micah Parsons and Jordan Love and Green Bay coming to town in week 7. And if they lose that, that bye week's going to be tough in week 8. Taking control back isn't as far off as it looks right now. It may be a ridiculous motion to even bring up because of how bad it's been and how walk-off in San Francisco, walk-off on Thursday Night Football, then walk-off in Tennessee, kind of. It's still like having a good season and making the playoffs is still in reach. Things need to change. But they're so much closer than what it's been over the last 3 weeks just because of the outcomes. But again, good teams win those games. And the urgency above all else, I'm talking about the offense. We'll discuss it next. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. Today's episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by our dear friends over at Supply House. When the opening whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with Supply House. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business. And their real-life inventory and honest lead times keeps you from punting projects with their industry-leading customer service, always having your blind side covered. Like, here's the thing. If you're working a job and you run out of parts and you run out of materials, and you need bulk, like, you can't wait. Oh, it's going to take 2 weeks to get those materials. Like, no. We got to keep this moving quick. We got to keep moving. That's why Supply House is so great with their honest lead times, which does keep you from punting projects. Join the free Trade Master program today and score some serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and a dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use promo code SHNFL5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service. All right. So urgency. What does that look like? Urgency, regardless of who the quarterback is. What does that look like? Urgency for the Arizona Cardinals, like truly competency. It doesn't have to be hurry up, run 25% more plays, throw the ball down the field, huck it, fast, 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 fast. It doesn't have to be that. That's not what urgency looks like at the NFL, like in the NFL all the time. Like this isn't, the NHL at playoffs or something, or 3 minutes on you pull your goalie, like urgency. Fast, 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 like basketball. Fast, fast, fast. It's different. Like urgency in the NFL can still be slow and methodical, but the grand plan must be cutthroat and not run the ball all 3 times, up a couple points with 2 minutes left. That's the antithesis of urgency. That's playing not to lose. And that's what we've seen a lot more. That's why it makes this whole thing that I've discussed harder to swallow, because it's not something that we've seen for large stretches of games in the second half predominantly. It's like, go kill. Go. Cardinals up 27-3, win 27-22. They're up 27-3 with 10 minutes left in the second quarter or third quarter against Carolina. You're up 21-3 against Tennessee. Go put up 50. They didn't score another point. It's like the urgency is having a methodical offensive game plan throughout the scene throughout the game that you execute. And this isn't like a low-hanging, like, oh, well, the Cardinals are grading on a curve. They're so bad at this that you got to take the urgency and chunk it down to something that's like building blocks for kids. That's not what I mean. What I mean is extend efficiency throughout the game. That's the version of urgency the Arizona Cardinals need to yield in Indy. And it's like, well, easier said than done. I know, because we haven't seen it. But they're also, I hate the argument of like, well, they should be 4-1. Yeah, right. And I just said that. But it's like the harder pill to swallow is that we have not seen a full game of offensive efficiency. Is it play calling? Is it Kyler taking checkdowns instead of letting plays develop? We saw some not so great videos for the Kyler Murray crowd. From Tio Mackey, he had a couple where he just didn't let plays develop, like throwing the ball right away instead of letting Trey. There was one sweeping drag route that Trey McBride ran that Kyler could have dropped between the corner and the safety. Would have been a huge chunk game, but he threw the ball out to the back on a flare route, like right away. It's like not great for that crowd. So what does that look like in more of a micro level? Aside from, I'm assuming Kyler Murray is going to start. Like, let's just assume that. Maybe it's a dumb assumption, but, he's practicing today. Okay, that we can only take so much. And if he doesn't, the game plan's the same. Like, I don't know why this is still not happening. And, like, 4 for 98 on 5 targets. I'm now in the camp that I trust Marvin Harrison Jr. implicitly. I talked about that earlier in the week. Trust him implicitly. Feed him. Just overly feed him. I don't, 50% of the targets or more should go to Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr. combined. More. Trey McBride's always open, okay? And still, his targets are very low, especially for the numbers of passes that the Cardinals have thrown. Like, this isn't an indictment on missing James Conner and Trey Benson, which I'm sure it is. And listen, Trey Benson's metrics by all, when he comes back, if they're still in contention, the running back room will be a lot better. Michael Carter was okay. I think it was under 3.5 yards a carry, maybe under 3 yards a carry. But they scored touchdowns. Cardinals 21-3. Indy's defense has been two-faced. Gave up a lot of points to the Rams and Denver. They stymied Miami and Vegas, and they only gave up 10 points to Tennessee, I believe, as well. Urgency means the most efficient game plan we've seen from Drew Petzing this year. And the best execution offensively. Well, obviously, they'd be 5-0 if that were the case. Probably. And that thought process, that's why I'm challenging the idea that they're just a lame duck at this point. Because we've seen really good. A lot of teams haven't seen really good. A lot of teams haven't seen really good. We've seen really good. So that means it's there, and then it's up to coaching and execution to expand upon that. If you told me the Cardinals won on Sunday, I said the Cardinals were going to win during the squad show on Wednesday night. And, I mean, I don't know if it's wishful thinking, but we've seen really good. So the urgency level is going to be the jet fuel that will, it should be the jet fuel. They'll allow them to play, good offensive football for more than a quarter and a half, which is pretty much their cap at this point. Pretty much their cap. So I don't know if it's scripting more plays. Like they look pretty efficient early in games, and then just the wheels fall off. The defense, this is the stat. The defense is first in EPA during the first 3 quarters of games. And they're 27th in the fourth quarter. That was from Mina Kimes. First in EPA through the first 3 quarters of games. 27th in the fourth quarter. And, they just forget how to play football? No. This isn't Madden on easy with no stamina toggle over. These guys get tired, man. The defense or the offense just decides to mail it in the second half. And, these guys are going to have to be on the field a lot longer. And you're able just to wear them down. And I will get into keys to victory. That is the first one. I spoke with Jake Arthur from Locked On Colts yesterday during the crossover. Great interview. He's great. Or not interview. Great show. Check that out, YouTube, wherever. He said that the second half is for Jonathan Taylor. That's where they grind teams down with the run game. And that could bode nightmarish for the Cardinals in the fourth quarter if they're close, but the offense becomes completely inept, like we've seen in the third and fourth quarters, because that's where Jonathan Taylor is his strongest. That's the first key to victory. I will discuss it more next, and there are some others. We'll talk about it next. This episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season. Week 6. Appreciate football. A third of the way done. For those that have listened to Locked On Cardinals for a while, appreciate football. If you need something else to utilize to appreciate football, FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5. If it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Cardinals are 6.5-point underdogs. We'll see what happens with Kyler Murray. Assuming that number will change if it's Jacoby Brissett. But again, I'm not a handicapper, so I don't know. But if you want to pick the Indianapolis Colts to win the AFC South, if you want to pick a long shot, Arizona Cardinals to make a huge comeback and win the NFC West, you can put cheese down on pretty much everything over at FanDuel. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. All right, please go to the YouTube channel, search Locked On Arizona Cardinals, hit that subscribe button, man. Tomorrow, 12 o'clock, I'll be doing a 30-minute Q&A. We're going to go week by week on this. I do enjoy a day off here and there, but we'll be doing it tomorrow, 30 minutes, right here on the YouTube. Keys to victory. Number 1, stop Jonathan Taylor, save the planet kind of thing. What show was that? Save the cheerleader, save the world. Somebody help me. Damn it. Should I spend the next 7 minutes trying to remember that without Googling it, or should we talk about Cardinals? Jonathan Taylor is the motor. He's leading rusher in the NFL. Daniel Jones has been great. Tyler Warren's been great. The offensive line has been very good. If you're not able to run block on Sunday, you will get laughed out of Lucas Oil Stadium. Pretty safe to say. It's going to be interesting to see how Nick Rallis combats that. It'll be interesting to see if the Cardinals do stack the box, what Daniel Jones and Shane Steichen do to counteract that. They've got weapons. Michael Pittman is one of the more underrated wide receivers. He's had really bad quarterback play. He's had some injuries. Tyler Warren looks to be better than what Brock Bowers was last year so far, or at least equal to. He's very, very good. Rookie tight end out of Penn State. And the defense has been two-faced, but they still got DeForest Buckner. They've got Laiatu Latu. They've got some dudes. So first, though, stop Jonathan Taylor. It's kind of it's a pick your poison, and it's kind of weird because obviously it would be Jonathan Taylor, but then this year started, it's like, oh, Daniel Jones is actually a good quarterback, or he's playing that avatar through 5 weeks. Sweet. Now the game plan is going to be even different. It's going to be fascinating. With Darius Robinson out. I think that's a surprise. Garrett Williams doing a little bit of work on sideline of practice this week. Walter Nolan was in street clothes, but it's funny. I believe it was Donnie Drew, in front of the show, SI, said that's what Bilal Nichols did the week before he was able to get back on the field. So we'll see if Walter Nolan will be an Arizona Cardinal on the field before the bye week in week 8. So that'll be fascinating to see. But, it's going to be Will Johnson, it's going to be Max Melton, it's going to be the safeties. It's going to be the same thing, ADG and Mac Wilson and Calais and Dalvin interior. Like, this is all hands on deck to stop Jonathan Taylor. It is. Josh Downs is a guy, like, I have this scary feeling that Josh Downs is going to be a 75-yard touchdown catch and run as a backbreaker. He's a game wrecker. He hasn't really found his footing. Like, he's been good. If anybody that plays fantasy football knows that, like, he's super frustrating to try and forecast for because he's one of those guys. He's a Deshaun Jackson dude. One catch for 60 yards of a touchdown. That makes you weak. He's one of those kind of people, one of those kind of players. Another key to victory, obviously, the offense, regardless of who the quarterback is, methodical urgency. That's the name of the game. Methodical urgency. There can't be there just can't be the predictability that we've seen. It's too late for that. If you're gonna pick any week to throw the rule book out, it's gotta be this week. Marv, 10 targets. Trey, 10 targets. And look what happens to the offense when you're able to do that. Look what unlocks. Maybe the box lightens up a little bit. Maybe Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch can get sprung. Like, throwing the ball to your best players is how you win football games, and the Cardinals just haven't done that. So that's two, and I can't believe we're having these conversations. Still. I can't believe it. But here we are. And then number 3, and the most important one, is win the turnover battle. Like, this isn't like a generic thing that I talk about to fill time. When you're on the road in a gotta have it, like, must-winny game or whatever to save the season, I mean, just that, you can't turn the ball over, and you gotta get in Daniel Jones's kitchen and make him cough it up. He has a proclivity to turn the ball over. Not so much during the first 5 weeks of this year, but during the entirety of his time in New York. And if the Cardinals do not take the ball away from the Colts and the offense is not able to be methodical and be urgent, they're going to get embarrassed. Two teams with polar opposite feels around them. Indy atop the AFC, crazy. Cardinals holding on for dear life through 5 weeks, even though they're point differentiators, like they've lost 3 games by under 10 points. It doesn't matter. The beauty of the situation for the Cardinals is their 3 losses are by combined 10 points. They haven't played well in the second half. So if they're able to figure that out, which seems like a long shot at this point until it's not, you could be right back on track. They figured this out in Indy, win a game at home against Green Bay. You're 4-3 going to the bye week when You thought that the sky was falling and the walls were burning. I said last week we're going to find out what this team is made of. I say this week we're going to find out what the future of this team is going to be. If they lose and the offense looks terrible, I don't know a world where, even though moving off of an OC in the middle of the season isn't ideal, the unknown may be better than the devil we know at this point for this team. But this is all predicated upon urgency. It's predicated upon functionality for 4 quarters. The Cardinals have put together, 1, 3, 4, 5, 7 good offensive quarters this year out of 20. They got to put together 4 quarters on Sunday, or we're going to be having wildly different conversations during the postgame show. With that said, so tomorrow I will be doing at 12 o'clock. I'll be doing a 30-minute Q&A here live on YouTube. It's very free form. Join, get some snacks, tell some friends, whatever. And then Sunday, immediately following the game, I'll be doing my 15-minute reaction show. Immediately following me will be the Cardinal Squad show with Jamil Douglas, Ben Garcia, and myself. Until tomorrow at 12 o'clock Arizona time. Remember, without you, there is no me. I'll talk to you tomorrow.